Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Today I'll be telling you all you need to know about the Chinese Wisteria, aka Wisteria sinensis. Chinese Wisteria is a woody vine originating from, well, China, that flowers in the spring, and those flowers look like this. Bam! Bam! Now ain't that pretty? Due to its appearance, Chinese Wisteria has been grown ornamentally in home gardens all across the US and around the world. It has fruits that are characteristics of the legume family, beans, and can grow up to 65 feet high, assuming whatever it grows on reaches that high, that is. So, why shouldn't you grow it? Unless you live in mainland China, Wisteria sinensis can be a huge risk for everything around you. The problem starts with how it grows. As it's a vine, it naturally needs something to wrap around and grow upon, whether that be pole, fences, gates, and even other plants. Considering how it can reach heights of around 65 feet tall and grow around other plants, it often manages to eventually shade its hosts and plants beneath it with its full, voluminous bloom. Similar to how Gandalf has to fend off Sauron's powers of darkness. The Wisteria in this case is Sauron, and Gandalf, the plants beneath it. Additionally, with how the Wisteria vines coil, it often girdles most plants, and this can lead to some nasty scarring, potentially plant death. And finally, it's toxic, so keep away from kids. On the topic of its toxicity, there have been multiple studies that focus on such aspects. In one study, where Branka Benicic and her colleagues went around testing plants around schoolyards and public facilities in Russia, they concluded that Wisteria sinensis, a common plant found in these locations, were entirely toxic, signified by the CB, standing for Cielabielka, which means whole plant, under the Otrovnos, which is the toxicity section of the table. On the table on the right is a study done by Dongwon Kim and his colleagues, where 7 kids from a kindergarten in Korea ingested Wisteria floribunda seeds, a close relative of the Chinese Wisteria. All 7 kids were admitted into the local Gachon University Medical Center with symptoms of vomiting, headache, and nausea just a few hours after ingestion. Now, all the kids did recover and were dismissed from the hospital a few days after, but this just further proves that these plants are toxic and that they are known to be ingested. Now, some of you may be saying, "Oh no, I just saw some Chinese Wisteria cultivars at my local home gardening store. What should I do?" Well, the answer is simple. You burn it. Just kidding. Well, there are a few things you can do to make sure Chinese Wisteria is not a problem in your garden. 1. Just don't plant it. There are plenty other local species of Wisteria that you may have in your area that you can plant, and although they are still toxic, at least they won't have such deadly effects on the local flora. 2. Should you decide to plant it or already have it, you can minimize the damage by keeping children and pets away from them and making sure to carefully prune the plants often so that it doesn't spread into a mess of a situation. But if that does happen, then 3. If you want to fully remove it, you have to cut the vines down to the roots while making sure not to accidentally spread any seeds, but due to how thick and extensive their root systems are, you have to continually monitor and remove any forms of growth until it finally can no longer maintain itself and dies. And you have to do this for each vine you find. So at this point, you might just want to burn it. And that's the end of the video, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell button to turn on notifications. That's all for this video, and thanks for watching.